Hello, gentlemen. How's it going today?
Toronto! Yeah, if you can't tell, he's Canadian
I am, eh?
from Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. Well, we're practically cousins. So what can I say?
That's right. I mean, yeah, exactly. We all know each other.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, first of all, congratulations on this. What an amazing achievement. I was like mesmerized from beginning to end of this
Awesome.
beautiful film. So Troy, let's start with you just because you're Canadian.
Hey,
So
no, let's.
right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No offense, Nick, or anything.
No,
But
no, I get it.
okay. I'll get to you in a minute, I promise.
Well, let's stand here.
But Troy, seriously, what a journey this has been. I don't want you to sit and tell me the whole story about, listen, we know that what happened, that the studio closed down and everything, but you guys stuck to your guns.
Yeah.
And you really stuck to this film, which now after seeing it, I understand why. But I wanted to know initially, what connected you to this graphic novel? Like, why were you so passionate about it to bring it to the screen?
I mean, beyond just the beauty of the look of the film and the amazing world that we got to play in, it was these really incredible characters who you could just feel the honesty of what Andy had created in his graphic novel. This idea of being seen, for who you are, to question what people had said. I think it was just, I know I've experienced moments like that. I think most people have felt like they've been on the outside of something and just looking for someone to understand who you are and how you can connect. I had two teenage children at the time when we started on this, and I had a front row seat for watching that journey of trying to discover who you are and navigate, self. And I think that just came across in such a wonderful way, and still had this amazing world you could build that around and cinematically, play with. So it felt like it was one of those stories that both Nick and I, coming off our last movie, we just saw it. We knew we had to be part of it in any way we could. And like you said, it was a lot of turbulent ups and downs, but it's a story that needed to be fought for, a story that needed to sort of keep finding its way. And once you're hooked into that, we couldn't turn away from it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And Nick, kind of the same question, but in a way, you look at Nimona, and what's so special about her is that, well, when she has her fears or anger, she shapeshifts, she changes, she gets that opportunity to turn into whatever she wants, and I'm sure there's going to be so many kids who, even if they haven't experienced the graphic novel, and they're going to watch us and go, wow, I really feel like that too. There's days that I really wish I could turn into something else. Was that something that was important and connected with you?
Yeah, listen, I think the one of the best things is Nimona's feeling is a universal feeling. And this movie is really a love letter to all those who've ever felt different or misunderstood. And Nimona is that, right? She is constantly shapeshifting, trying to feel how she feels. And I love that she will help people along the way in that journey to find, it may not always be easy, but, there are people who will see you for who you truly are.
Right.
And how important that friendship is.
Yeah. And on top of that, Nimona, she was a really fun and interesting character to work with. And she's a character who knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
From the very beginning, it's not one of those like, oh, I'm a teenage girl and who am I? She knows who she is, but she's still trying to navigate. So, even with that confidence, she's still trying to figure that stuff out. And she grows in her connection to Ballister and to this community. And that was a really powerful and interesting character to sort of bring to life.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's, talk about bringing these characters to life. You've got some amazing voice talent. My God, you hit the jackpot. Let's start with our Nimona. I mean, Chloe Grace Moretz. I remember interviewing her when she was like, yay high, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Does she ever bring some passion to this character? Who wants to take this one? Because working with her must have just been beyond amazing.
It was pretty boring and quite rudimentary. No, she's amazing. She's incredible. Oh my God. The energy she brings in, and the personality, she's funny. She's got such energy. She's disruptive. The recording sessions were so much fun because she would just throw back, some really funny stuff at us and challenge us in the room. And she had such a disruptive sort of Nimona vibe about her, and
Right.
yet knew and was capable of switching gears in these moments to suddenly just bring so much heartache and emotional connection to those moments. Because you come to realize that Nimona is fun and she's big and she's funny, but that's a lot of that is cover. A lot of that is cover to a pain, to something more personal that sits inside it.
Exactly.
We all find these defense mechanisms that allow us to sort of cover up sort of our truths and our pain. And Chloe could tap into that in the most incredible way.
She could weave that line between chaos and sincerity in a way that nobody else could, which is amazing.
Yeah, and let's talk about Riz Ahmed, because not only does he bring, his great voice and character, and even Ballister looks like him. I mean, it's amazing how these characters look like, a little bit of their voice characters, but he also brings musical aspect to it. Like, what a talent he is to have him on.
It's unfair how talented he is.
And then he's a nice guy.
By the way,
He's a nice guy. Yeah.
And what I didn't realize until we met him is also how funny he is.
Right.
He plays really like the straight man in this, where he's always, it'll often seem like he's the butt of Nimona's jokes. But he brings such a soul to the character. I think one of the things I loved most about him is the dirt he'd bring to the performance. When I say dirt, what I mean by that is he wouldn't say things perfectly. Sometimes he'd stumble on his words or change direction of what he's going to say, or just he can find a way you could hear a breath to suggest how deeply he's thinking.
Right.
Incredible actor who's very aware of his voice, his vocal talents, because I think he's a musician, and it made a real character for us.
Yeah, and Eugene Lee, I mean, you got his hair perfectly.
Yeah, no, you can't tell. It's a lot of hair envy.
Yeah, I was going to say it's very close to you too. Yeah,
I would just study every recording, but how does he do it? It defies gravity. Eugene was so much fun to work with. We really wanted Goldnoy to be this sort of larger than life rock star character, the sports hero. I mean, he's a descendant of Glorith, right? You couldn't get bigger in this particular kingdom. And, there's a lot of confidence that comes with privilege like that, but he never strays into cocky. He's just very comfortable in that privilege. And the comfort of that privilege allows him to sort of see Ballister for who he is, beyond what everyone's saying. But throughout the movie, that privilege starts to weigh on him. The expectations, when things go wrong. And Eugene has that charisma, but he has that sort of emotional fragility that he could bring to the role. You believed why Ballister was trying to get back to him. I mean, you liked him. You had to like this character, even though he cut off our main character's arm. That's a huge carry to say, we still like you and we still want this to work. And Eugene just brought such sincerity every single time and was just a blast in the booth.
I mean, that speaks to charisma.
Yeah. I was wondering, after kids see this, what would be, the most heartfelt takeaway that you would want kids to take from this? Because I think that, like I said, I mean, we could talk for hours about it, but the message is, really see people for who they are, obviously. But, Nick, I think it goes beyond that, because there's so many metaphors in this material, that are really going to hit home, I think, with a lot of people.
Yeah. When we came on to the project, that was a big thing, is we're always thinking about, if you're making a movie, there's a good responsibility to make sure you're sending people out into the world in a positive way. And for us, while the movie is about acceptance, what it really is down to its core is just get to know people.
Right.
That was always what we talked with all of our artists about, is that's what we're trying to do. And we're all not perfect, right? We all have our messiness, but at the end of the day, that's what we hope people, when they see this movie, they go out and they do, is they just get to know people so that they can hopefully see them for who they truly are, not what other people might say about them. Right. I think that's a message that we all would hope, even for ourselves.
Yeah. And
100%.
Even how we communicate about others. I mean, the idea of, Glorith and that backstory and how the importance of community and people in certain positions, parents, how we how we say things, even if it's coming from a place of concern and good reasoning, can have an impact. That we have to be aware of the what we're putting out into the world, and how that can affect people around us who depend on us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you put out another, this is just spectacular. Like I said, I don't love it enough. I can't love it more. Is that what you say? I can love it more, whatever. I
You
did love
try
it.
by
Yeah.
having it on loop on Netflix when it comes out
Yeah.
June 30th.
Yeah.
Well,
And tell all your
absolutely.
friends and listeners
yeah.
that they should watch it. Yeah, no, it's
They will. Thank you so much for your time today, gentlemen. And like I said, best of luck with it. I know it's going to do so well. And, Troy, let us know when you come home, okay?
absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks.